welcome back to our channel. We're the Garso Twins. I'm Britta.
And I'm Carly.
We would love it if you would subscribe down below. We do a lot of get ready with me's, monthly favorites. We have a 5 weekly favorite series that's more lifestyle focused, and we do come from a product development background, so we kind of view all of our reviews through that lens. Today we're doing our August favorites. As anticipated, August was a great month, and we're excited to share all of our favorites with you. Okay, first up for me is the Sephora Collection matte lipstick in the shade 05 High Standards. I bought this on a whim during the Sephora Friends and Family sale. We had swatched it while we were in New York. We had swatched like a couple of the shades and we both really liked this one.
The Sephora in Tribeca was insane.
It was so beautiful.
There was every single brand that they could have possibly had in there.
These are only $15, so with the sale it was even more of a steal, but this shade is a red pink. I'll leave my reel linked down below so you can see it applied and swatched. And this is a really beautiful like powdery matte formula. If you tried like the MAC Powder Kiss and like those, I think you would like this. It's a high pigment load, so usually high pigment loads will make it more powdery on your lips. And so it's very smooth and creamy, but it is a matte. So I just want to preface that by saying it's a matte lipstick, so maybe it can feel a little bit drying, but nothing too crazy. Like I said, MAC Powder Kiss, if you like those, you'll like this formula. And I really love the staying power with this. Like, I'll put it on and even after I eat, like, of course some of it wears off, but because there's so much pigment, it wears off really evenly. And I like ran errands, and I came back and it was still on my lips in some capacity. So I really love that these are kind of like a really low maintenance lipstick. Like, you don't really have to reapply a lot.
Pretty.
Yeah, and the shade is so pretty. I've been wearing it so much and getting lots of compliments, so highly recommend. I recently repurchased the Rare Beauty mascara in the travel size because I'm just so cheap when it comes to mascara. And this mascara is just the best out there. I love it so much. It literally gives you, I used a little bit today because now I'm almost out, but you can like build it up to get uber volume. It's so black. It's definitely the blackest mascara I've tried. So black. It isn't a wet mascara, which I hate. It's definitely on like the drier side. The brush is large, so it gives you like that volume. It's a nylon bristle brush. It doesn't flake. It doesn't irritate my eyes. It literally lasts all day. It holds a curl. There's like nothing else this mascara could do. I think it's the best on the market, and I just wish Rare Beauty is actually really affordable for being like a more expensive, like a not like a luxury brand, but like, you know, sold in Sephora. Yeah. And so I think the full size is still only $20, so not awful, and I might repurchase it, but I'm usually so cheap with mascara, but this one is worth it. It is so good. Something that I haven't talked about on our channel yet that I've really been enjoying is the Ordinary Multi-Peptide Lash and Brow Serum. I will say I hate the brush on this. Maybe I just got a dud, but it's super spiky, so it's not comfortable to put on your lash line.
It just gets caught in the wiper.
No, like it's like thick bristles, and so they stick out, so then it just kind of pokes your eye. But it's like $15 from Sephora, and this is not going to make your lashes grow. There's nothing in here that makes lashes grow like Grande Lash or Babe Lash, but it has peptides, and so I've realized that when I use this for an extended period of time, it really helps with my lash follow. I have an issue with eyelashes falling out constantly, and this really helps to keep them more intact, and it doesn't burn my eyes. I apply it after all my skincare at night. Like, I let the skincare dry down a little bit and then put this on my lash line. I only do it at night. I know I could be doing it twice a day and it might be even better, but I really like this. Okay, another favorite. So I was using the Kosas Tinted Brow Gel forever, since they sent it to us, and obsessed. And then lately I've been wanting to fill in my brows just because of the sparse areas and making them look more like sisters instead of really distant cousins. And then I've been using the clear brow gel to set it, and I've just loved this. It has the same brush as the tinted, which is like a perfect tapered, small but not too small brush.
Yeah, the brush is nice.
Yeah, it's perfect. And the formula is so nice because it's not super thin. I can't stand when brow products are thin because then it just gets messy. I think you just have different eyebrows because you have like really nice eyebrows, so you need thicker product to be able to go through but them. I feel like you lose so much control when something's thin. When something's thicker, it generally stays where you put it. And so this is the perfect amount where it's not too thick like an actual like pomade, but it's not thin and watery. It's a great viscosity.
Yeah, it almost looks like glycerin.
Yeah, it holds well, but it doesn't, it's not like super hold like the Refi Brow Gel, not Anastasia. Yeah, it's not like plaster to your face, but it holds well without being crunchy. It's like a natural hold.
Yeah.
It doesn't look shiny on the brows. Another thing I hate, it looks just natural. I'm just really surprised. I was using the tinted for so long and like obsessed with it. And then once I started using this, I'm like, wow, this is just as good. Yeah, I use the tinted on days when I'm wearing makeup, like today, I use the tinted. And I do like the Fruity Berry technique where I brush back my brows with it, and then I use a clean spoolie and go over because it is really pigmented, that one. But this one I really love to use on days when I'm not wearing makeup, so I'll put my sunscreen on and then just brush this through for like some hold in my brows, and I really like that way to use it too.
The component's also so nice. I was
It's
just looking
so cute.
It's like a custom tool. It has like a DBoss Kosas logo with an iridescent spray on it.
Yeah, I wonder who designed this. They did a great job.
It's really cute.
Okay, Terry's here, but I don't know if you can see him or not. So next up is the Ilia Drawn In Nightlight Bronzing Powder. I repurchased this because I realized how much I loved it. I went through a whole one, which is so rare for me with bronzers. It's a talc-free formula. It's very matte, but it also looks like silky on the skin. It almost blurs a little bit. It's a good balance of being pigmented but easy to blend out. Sometimes bronzers are too pigmented and then they kind of stay where you put them, where this one is pigmented but then you can blend it out after the fact, which I love, and I think that's actually pretty rare in a bronzer formula.
The NARS one's like that too.
Yeah, and I think that's often an overlooked selling point that brands don't really talk about, but I just love everything about this formula, so I repurchased it. And I just have a complaint about the packaging. I realized, like, I was like, oh, it's so cute they put this quote here. Then I realized the old packaging used to have a mirror. And I know that mirrors are expensive, but I loved the mirror in here because it's so big. You could essentially do your whole face of makeup in this mirror. So that was kind of disappointing to see. And then I was doing like my tap, tap, tap with my brush. I didn't even like tap this thing, I just tapped next to it and it cracked and fell off like on one tap. So I feel like they also maybe changed the plastic. I don't know if this is ABS or what this is made out of, but just kind of disappointing that the packaging quality went a little downhill. But regardless, I would keep buying this bronzer over and over because it's my favorite.
But did they
matte
raise
bronzer.
the price? Because honestly,
No, they didn't raise the price.
I feel like
I
they
think
probably
it's
just
the
need
same.
to make up their margin and they figured this was the best
Well, actually,
way.
I don't know if they raised the price because I think the first one we got they sent to us.
It was in 2020 when it launched.
Yeah, it was
so
in 2020 when it launched, so they probably have raised the price. But I do think this is like a mid-range price. I think it's in like $30-something, and I got it during the sale. Okay, next up are these earrings. They're the Madewell Puffy Hoop earrings. They're still on the website. I keep checking because a lot of
are so cute.
I know I've worn these in like Reels, in TikTok or TikToks, Reels, YouTube Shorts, and every single platform I've gotten questions on where these are from. And they're from Madewell, and I think they're still on there for less than $10 now. So run, don't walk to go get these. They look so expensive. I think that's why I've gotten so many compliments. And I got them when I didn't get them for $10. I think I got them for like $14 because when they were on major sale, now they're even cheaper. But they're just, oh, I missed the back. They're like this nice gold. I got
Shiny.
them, yeah, because usually the Madewell gold is matte, and I was like, oh, those are shiny. That's what I wanted. They're like a medium kind of yellow gold. They have a little weight to them, but they're not heavy at all. I've worn them all day. I wore them in New York when we were like walking around. I was totally fine. They literally go with everything. They're nice because they're like an oval hoop that has like a twist like this way. I can't describe it. So it kind of like looks different from every angle. These are like my new favorite earrings, and I've worn them all month long. I've worn them non-stop. So please get these while they're still in stock. Yeah, don't sleep on Madewell jewelry. I was wearing a pair that were also like $10 too, both the other day, and the girl was like, oh, where are your earrings from? And I said Madewell. She's like, oh wow, I thought they were probably from like a local designer.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, they're $13.
And they test all of their jewelry, I believe, to be like for allergies. Like they have like really hypoallergenic posts, and they hold up way better than like majority stuff I bought and hasn't held up. And other stories starts to tarnish a little bit.
It does start to tarnish, and it starts to irritate my ears. Madewell, like sometimes,
doesn't.
well, so, like my first pair of earrings from them are the small gold hoops, and the gold is coming off. Like you can see the silver underneath, but they still don't irritate my ears. So something about their posts are like good.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is the Fleur Father Figure perfume. Carly and I have been pretty vocal that we think Fleur is maybe like a little bit overhyped in general. People really love their fragrances, and the only one that we found that we liked was Tangerine Boy, which I do really love that one. But then Father Figure came out, and it's a fig perfume, and people were saying it's like really fresh and sophisticated, and I just knew that I would like it. So when we were in New York, we were at that Sephora in Tribeca, and we smelled it, and it was like an immediate love for me. I love it too. I didn't buy it because I have my eye on this other niche perfume from the scent bar. Yeah, I feel like there has to be like sandalwood in here or something. But I would describe it as a clean...
Yeah, but it's a little warm.
Yeah, a clean, warm scent.
This is by far their best fragrance.
Yeah.
Like by far.
Yeah. Even better than Tangerine Boy.
Usually we smell them and we're like, eh.
Yeah. If you like clean, warm fragrances, I think you would like this. I'll link it down below and you can read more about it in the notes. And another thing I want to mention is this is the travel spray. This is the nicest travel spray I own. It's a
really nice.
A really thick-walled glass. You can tell because the foot is so thick. And it has a really nice sprayer. I didn't put perfume on today, so
I sprayed on me. I don't own this. I have my eye on this other perfume.
It has a really fine mist sprayer that just like diffuses the product really nicely. The cap is aluminum with like a plastic shell on the inside, and it snaps into place. I can't say enough good things. I don't know where they got this packaging from, but I've worked on projects and I've never found
No, you're like, how do they price it like this?
Yeah, like how do they price it so well? But it's really nice. So that's just another thing I want to mention because
the color glass usually has such a high MOQ too. I honestly don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah, well no, I think this has to be a spray. It can't be color glass. That's like an MOQ of like 200,000 pieces.
Yeah, even if it's a spray though, you have to buy a certain amount. The MOQ is usually higher than clear glass. Regardless, I literally don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, beautiful packaging. This is a beautiful fragrance. It's not super long lasting, but that doesn't really bother me, especially because I could carry this one with me if I wanted, but I will probably get the full size after I'm done with this because I like it that much. Okay, I was on the hunt for a new duvet cover. Warning, this is going to be Brooklinen slander, but we both bought stuff from Brooklinen and it literally like tore apart in a few years. Well, we really liked it, so I just feel bad because we probably hyped it up at the time.
I know.
It just didn't last long, and the last thing to go, like the sheets were absolute trash. Like they like ripped so quickly, but the duvet cover lasted a decent amount before it too ripped. It was their linen. And then I bought some from Parachute and realized that the quality of linen from Parachute versus Brooklinen is just night and day. The linen from Parachute is much better quality. Not to mention, I have a linen duvet cover from Amazon that hasn't ripped or it's snagged at all. It's so much nicer. The Brooklinen, like trash. Yeah. And so save your money. But anyway, my boyfriend was like, we cannot get another linen duvet cover because now he's like horrified of linen because it was just a bad experience. And so I was looking and looking, and I didn't want to spend money on Parachute, even though I will say they have good quality stuff, so I do think it's worth the money. And a lot of people said instead of buying from like those brands they bought from Keen's, is that how you say it?
I always thought Quince, but
Q-U-I.
No, you're probably right, Keen's.
C-E. Because they sort of like use the same factories and sort of like essentially rip off. Like they're known for their dupe of the Jenny Kane cashmere sweater. I think that's like what put them on the map. They have
their leather bags.
Yeah, they have like cheap cashmere leather bags. Their Kiwana ripoff looks like of the makeup bag looks identical. And so they have really awesome duvets on there. They have a linen one, but again, my boyfriend was like, please don't get linen ever again. And they have so many colors in the linen, so I recommend trying that now that I know the quality. So I ended up buying, it's the waffle, what is it called? I will link it down below, but it's the Organic Luxe Waffle Duvet Cover in the shade Sand. And so it's kind of this like stitched waffle pattern, and it's instead of being normal waffle where it's like a square, well, they're round. So I thought it was different and unique, and I wanted to add texture to my room because my room's kind of small, so it's a little boring because I can't do too much. And it did just that. It added like a nice amount of texture. And it feels really good quality. I wanted to use it for a bit before I talked about it, and it like washed well. It has ties to tie the duvet insert on all four corners, which I never experienced before.
Oh, yours didn't have that? Mine has
no,
that.
from Brooklinen it was just the top two. And it has buttons instead of a zipper, which
I know there's pros and cons because some people like the zipper because it's quick, but the buttons lay nicer. Like it looks like a nicer lay when it's like laying on the bottom of the bed. So I do like the buttons. Again, the Brooklinen buttons all fell off besides 2, but I don't think that's gonna happen with this. My only complaint is I bought the sand color and it looked like a neutral light tan taupe on the website, and when it came, and it also took a really long time to ship because it ships directly from India, I'm assuming where it's made. When it came, it was like a slightly warm, like a little bit darker tan color. So the coloring did not match the website, which I think is really bad if you're trying to order from something online that doesn't have a store at all. And I know like Parachute offers, like you can order their swatch book to get the swatches of the fabric before you order, and I don't think they offer that. So that's the only complaint. So I'm going to insert a photo, like a little swatch photo, so you can see what the actual color looks like. But overall, really happy with quality. The color ended up being fine for me. It just is a little too warm for my cool tone sheets. Like I wish it would have matched more, but I got over it. I really like the color now, but I did want to call that out. But the quality is really good and it's really impressed me. And if you're looking for new bedding, look into them. Okay, now we're on to book favorites of the month. My favorite was Will They or Won't They by Ava Wilder. I love this book. It's from the author of How to Fake It in Hollywood, which I also liked, but I much preferred this one. So it's about Lila and Shane, and they are cast on a show together. They describe the show as like a sci-fi type of show. Like I'm thinking like Walking Dead. I don't know.
Oh my god, I didn't think that. I thought it was like Star Trek-y.
Oh, but there's lots of like fighting. Anyway, that type of show, not something I would probably watch. But they're cast on the show together. Shane has really no acting experience. He was just discovered serving at a restaurant, and someone like wanted to cast him in this pilot. And Lila is like professionally trained as an actress. So they're cast on the show, and you basically find out that I think the series has gone for 9 seasons, and Lila left the show after 3 seasons, and she's coming back for the last season. And when she comes back for the last season, that's where the book picks up, and her and Shane aren't on speaking terms. And so you can tell already there's like a tumultuous relationship there, and they do lots of flashbacks as to when they first met, when they were first filming the series. And I just want to say I love any book that has like a television set in the premise. I find them to be so like eye-opening. I feel like it's one of those things where most people don't know what it's like to be on a TV set. So when you get a glimpse of it in some form, I know this is fiction, but that's why I liked that the show about like the
True Love Experiment?
No, Funny You Should Ask. Is that the one? I think that's the one, or maybe it was by that same author, but where they're supposed to work on like an SNL type show. Like I just love,
that's not what it's called, but I love that book too.
Yeah, so I knew I was gonna like this because of that, but I really loved Shane and Lila. I love their characters. They both had lots of depth. They both had lots of things they needed to work through as individuals, which were very apparent, yet it kind of like humanized them. And I've said this before, but it's so rare for me to like a female lead in a book, and I really liked Lila.
I really liked Lila. I love this book too, but I couldn't give it 5 stars because of Shane. I didn't love him.
I liked them both. I gave it 4 stars. A 5-star book is something that like hooks me from the beginning and I cannot put down. This wasn't that. Like I feel like it wasn't something that necessarily hooked me because there was no like hook really. The plot is really just kind of them finding their way back to each other. But one thing that I thought was really rare about this as a romance novel was that you could tell that Shane loved Lila unconditionally. Like she was pretty quirky, or like had some things that other people would probably be like, oh, she's maybe like a lot. And he just found them so endearing, and I loved that. So I feel like it was true love. It was a great book. Okay, my favorite book is Fourth Wing, and I won't stay here long because Britta, it was her favorite last month, but it follows Violet, and basically it's like this world similar to the Hunger Games where they live in this like war zone. So kids are brought up like knowing that they're either going to be a
in the fourth wing and be like a rider, a dragon rider who fights in wars, or they're going to be a, what is it called?
A scribe. But
Scribe.
are those the only 2 options?
I think there's only 2 options.
Oh, okay.
I thought,
Maybe.
unless some of them just don't do anything.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
But it sounds like they've been at this war for years, so
Yeah.
people are doing either of the 2. And if you're a scribe, you're like an intellectual, so you're providing information to the riders in the war about the enemy, about like the zones. Basically, you're just like the information hub, and so it's much safer for scribes. So Violet grew up thinking that she was always going to be a scribe. She has like physical limitations, and so, but she's very smart, but her mom is like commander of the entire army, and so she kind of like chooses what people do, and she puts Violet into the riders quadrant. So the book kicks off with her basically being thrust into this and feeling like, oh, this is it, I'm going to die. And you basically see her journey. So she goes into the quadrant, and there's like multiple levels that you have to pass to make it to graduation day.
Okay, the dogs just came in from their walk.
There's
and
kind of some noise happening, but
Yeah.
ignore. So this book is so long, I can't even describe it succinctly, but basically there's many phases to get to graduation day as a rider. You eventually are assigned a dragon, which is a huge plot point of the book, which is very cool. It's probably my favorite part of the book. You kind of like share a brain with them, if that makes sense. But there's many ways you can die throughout this process, like through your other classmates, through like attacks, like there's just various challenges to get to the end. And then there's also romance in this book, so it's a lot of action, a lot of detail. There's family dynamics, but then there's like 2 sort of like subplot romances. I absolutely loved Violet, the main character.
Yes.
She's like the true protagonist. There's
It's
really
like a hero's journey.
yeah, there's really no one else that is like in the main character. I mean, there is, but she's like, you're following her. It's like her point of view. It is just her book. And I loved her so much. I loved the ending. There's a big twist at the end, which I did see coming. And it was just so great. It's a little too long. I think it's too long, I will say.
It's not too
I
long.
think it could have been edited down, but besides that, I think it's literally a perfect book. I get the hype. I get why everyone is loving it. I cannot wait to read the sequel that's gonna come out.
Thank you guys so much for watching our August favorites. Please let us know what you've been loving down below.